Hey everyone, and welcome to another video for the channel. If you're watching this, it's because you're not the type to settle for just any bike. You're the type who does their research, compares options, and demands the best. And today, we're talking about a machine that's shaking up the mid-displacement adventure segment worldwide. The all-new and stunning 2026 Honda NX500. A bike that didn't come to ask for permission, it came to challenge the throne from rivals like the Kawasaki KLE 500, the Himalayan 450, and the BMW F450. This new Honda isn't just an update. It's such a complete technical, technological, and aesthetic statement that it's hard to ignore. So if you still don't know whether this is your next bike, stick around until the end, because before this video is over, we're going to give you 7 solid reasons to put all your doubts to rest and get yourself the best bike for you. So go ahead, grab a good cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Reason number 1, a powerful and reliable engine. Let's start with the heart of the beast. Under the bodywork, the Honda NX500 carries a 471 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, DOHC, liquid-cooled, with PGM-FI fuel injection, putting out 47 horsepower at 8,500 revolutions per minute, and a peak torque of 43 Newton-meters at 6,500 revolutions per minute. For those of you who don't live in the world of numbers, here's what that mid-range torque actually means. You get immediate response the moment you twist the throttle. In the city, on the highway, on a mountain road, or on a gravel path. You don't need to be redlining the tachometer to feel the bike push forward. And that makes all the difference in everyday riding. Now, one of the most interesting things about this engine is that it's A2 license compliant, meaning it's perfectly suited for riders with a restricted license, without sacrificing a single thing in terms of enjoyment. The compression ratio sits at 10.7 to 1, startup is electric, the oil tank holds 3.1 liters, and Honda's declared top speed is 165 kilometers per hour. That number isn't the edge of desperation, it's the cruise of confidence. The bike reaches it effortlessly and holds it steady. CO2 emissions come in at just 82 grams per kilometer, and the certified fuel consumption is 3.6 liters per 100 kilometers, which means with the 17.5-liter tank, you're looking at a theoretical range of nearly 490 kilometers, almost 500 kilometers of real-world range. That's not a mid-displacement bike. That's a long-haul tourer in a compact body. Reason number 2, the E-clutch, the silent revolution nobody saw coming. If there is a single reason that makes the 2026 NX500 a case study for the entire industry, this is it. Honda has integrated its E-clutch technology into the top-of-the-range version, and what sounds like a comfort gadget is, in reality, a paradigm shift in the way humans interact with a manual transmission motorcycle. How does it work? The E-clutch is an electronic clutch system that operates in parallel with the physical clutch. You can turn it on or off directly from the TFT display. When it's active, you simply shift gears as you normally would, but you never have to touch the clutch lever. The electronic system handles everything on its own, instantly with millimeter-level smoothness, managing the clutch engagement and disengagement on every shift, every launch, and every deceleration. And what if you want to use the clutch manually? You can do that too. No restrictions. You're still in charge. The real-world implications are huge. In city traffic, the fatigue in your left hand simply disappears. On dirt or gravel tracks, your traction control becomes noticeably more precise. For newer riders, the learning curve is cut in half. And for experienced riders, it's simply one more tool to push the bike to its limits, without distractions. This technology shows up on bikes priced at $15,000 and above from other brands. Honda brings it to an entry-level adventure bike at $6,500. That's not an upgrade. That's disruption. Reason number 3, the onboard technology, a cockpit worthy of 2026. We're in 2026, and motorcycles are no longer just about mechanics. They're technological platforms on wheels. And in that arena, the NX500 does not disappoint. The 5-inch TFT display at the center of the cockpit uses optical bonding technology, which cuts down on reflections and dramatically improves readability, even under direct sunlight. The layout is fully customizable. You can configure how your speedometer, tachometer, clock, selected gear, and shift indicator are displayed, exactly the way you want them. But the real story is what's running behind that screen: the Honda RoadSync platform. That means Bluetooth connectivity with your smartphone, GPS navigation projected directly onto the dash, music control, incoming calls through compatible helmets, and real-time traffic updates. It's the connectivity ecosystem Honda has been refining across its premium lineup, and it's now been brought down to the mid-range segment, available to everyone. On top of that, the system includes HSTC, Honda Selectable Torque Control, a traction management system that steps in discreetly the moment it detects rear-wheel slip, particularly in wet conditions. And the best part? On dirt or gravel surfaces, you can switch it off completely with a single button, giving you full, unassisted control over your traction. That ability to choose between assisted safety and pure control, that's what defines a truly versatile motorcycle. Reason number 4, the chassis and suspension, supermoto technology in an adventure bike. When Honda says this bike has serious suspension, they're not exaggerating. The 2026 NX500 comes fitted with Showa SFF-BP 41mm inverted forks up front, a spec you'd normally find on sports bikes or upper-segment adventure machines. SFF-BP stands for Separate Function Front Fork Big Piston, meaning the damping and spring functions are split between the two fork legs, delivering more precise response, a more direct feel, and greater consistency throughout the compression stroke. Out back, you get a ProLink monoshock with 5-stage preload adjustment, paired with a hollow cross-section steel swing arm that strikes the right balance between rigidity and weight. Ground clearance sits at 180 millimeters, enough for the bike to hold its own off-road without compromising its urban manners. The frame is a steel diamond type, with a wheelbase of 1,445 millimeters, a rake angle of 27.5 degrees, and 108 millimeters of trail, a geometry designed to blend high-speed stability with agility in slow-speed maneuvers. On the tire side, you're looking at a 110/80/19 up front and a 160/60/17 out back, mounted on lightweight 5-spoke Y-profile aluminum wheels with a proper adventure aesthetic. That 19-inch front wheel is key. More inches means a greater ability to absorb terrain irregularities and hold its line on loose surfaces. And the brakes are absolutely up to the task. Dual 296mm front discs with axially mounted Nissin dual-piston calipers, a 240mm rear disc with a single-piston caliper, and switchable dual-channel ABS. Everything under control. Reason number 5, the aerodynamic design. It's not just beautiful, it works. The NX500's design is not cosmetic. It's functional from the first line to the last. The front fairing and the tall rally-style windscreen are engineered to redirect airflow cleanly up and around the rider, reducing fatigue during long days on the road. Honda didn't just set out to make a bike that looks great in photos, they made a bike that takes care of you when you've got 6 hours of riding behind you. The headlight is full LED, with a light distribution pattern specifically designed to illuminate both sides of the road through tight nighttime corners. You won't just see better, you'll be seen better. The taillight is LED as well. The overall aesthetic speaks the language of modern adventure. Sharp, tense lines, aggressive, competition-inspired graphics, and an upright riding position that gives you visibility and control. The seat height comes in at 830 millimeters, a figure that might spark debate among shorter riders, but one that in practice is offset by the bike's light weight. 196 kilograms wet in the standard version, and 199 in the E-clutch, combined with a well-engineered center of gravity. The handlebars are wide, the riding position is natural, and access to the controls is intuitive, even with road or off-road gloves on. Reason number 6, value for money, an unmatched proposition in the segment. Let's talk about what everybody actually cares about: the money, the dollars, the euros, the pesos. The 2026 Honda NX500 launches at 6,450 euros for the standard version and 6,800 euros for the E-clutch version in Spain. And in the US, it's available for around $6,900. To put that in context, the new BMW F450 goes above $7,500. The Kawasaki KLE 500 starts above $6,500. And the CF Moto 450 MT also comes in from around $6,500. So what does Honda actually give you for €6,450? A 47 horsepower parallel twin engine, a 5-inch TFT display with road sync connectivity, HSTC traction control, Showa inverted forks, dual-channel ABS, Nissan brakes, full LED lighting, ESS Smart Start, and a warranty backed by Honda's worldwide dealer network. And if you want the e-clutch, that's €350 more. €350 for technology that other manufacturers charge between €1,000 and €2,000 as an upgrade. That is not a coincidence. That is strategy. Honda knows that this segment is the battlefield of the future, and they are betting big. The 4 optional accessory packs, Adventure, Travel Combi, Urban, and Comfort, let you tailor the bike exactly to how you're going to use it, without paying for what you don't need. That's not just good value, that's smart product design. Reason number 7, universal versatility. One bike for every world. And we arrive at the reason that ties everything together. This Honda NX is not a niche motorcycle. It's not built for one type of rider, one type of terrain, or one kind of lifestyle. It's what the Japanese call a do-it-all machine. And in this case, that's not a marketing slogan. It's a precise technical description. In the city, it weighs 196 kilograms and delivers an engine with generous low-rev torque, making it agile and manageable even in slow traffic or tight parking maneuvers. On the highway, its adventure fairing and tall windscreen turn it into a surprisingly comfortable long-distance tourer. With a range that exceeds 480 kilometers and a 140 kilometers per hour cruise that barely makes the engine break a sweat. On mountain roads, the wheel geometry, the precision of its Showa forks, and the responsiveness of the HSTC system make every corner feel like a fluid conversation between rider and machine. On dirt, gravel, or back roads, 180 millimeters of ground clearance, a 19-inch front wheel, and the option to disable traction control give it genuine adventure capability, not just the look of it. And with optional accessory packs, it transforms into a fully loaded touring machine. Top box, side bags, heated grips, and extra protection. That's total adaptability. This is the bike for the city rider who wants to escape on weekends, for the long-distance traveler who doesn't want to pay the price of a full-size adventure bike, for the fresh A2 license holder who refuses to compromise on technology or fun, and for the experienced rider looking for a second bike that's functional, lightweight, and free of inflated pretensions. The NX500 represents them all. In summary, the new Honda NX500 is quite possibly the most complete, most balanced, and best executed proposition in the mid-displacement adventure segment anywhere in the world right now. It brings together in a single chassis what used to force you to choose. Top-tier technology, accessible but real power, uncompromising versatility, a competitive price point, and the backing of the most trusted brand on 2 wheels on the planet. The e-clutch, the TFT display with road sync, the Showa inverted forks, the parallel twin engine with 43 Newton-meters of torque, the nearly 500-kilometer range, and ergonomics built for long highway miles. These are arguments you can't counter with opinions. You counter them with data, and the data speaks for itself. And that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around until the end of this video. As always, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Ride safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.